Okay, for this lesson we're specifically going to be talking about oil pastels. And the first technique we're going to look at is called stippling. So go ahead and number your paper 1 and then write stippling. Well, all stippling is tiny dots or circles. And so that the classroom doesn't sound like this, you can go ahead and just do some circles. Alright, with oil pastel, I use stippling just to add texture. So I'm going to start drawing little circles in one color, and then perhaps with another color I'll add circles in between. Now from far away these colors might look like they are starting to blend together, which is also a cool effect. The next technique we're going to talk about is color mixing. So go ahead and number your paper with a number 2 and then write color mixing. Right. There's 2 ways that we can do this. We can either press hard with our pastels. Let's do yellow and blue. So I'll press almost as hard as I can. You don't want to break the pastel because they are pretty soft. And we'll do blue. So 2 primary colors. Or you can do soft color mixing. Let's do blue and red this time. So I'm going to use the side of the pastel, just like if you were to use the side of your crayon to fill a large space when you were younger in a coloring book. You're going to use the side of your pastel, and you can still kind of see the white of the paper through the coloring. And then I'll use another primary color, red, over top. So I'm pressing very lightly, going back and forth, and just letting my pastel drag across the page. The next technique we're going to talk about is sgraffito. So this is number 3. That is an S, G, R, A, F, F, I, T, O. And what this is you're kind of going to hard blend at first. So I'll choose like a lighter color for the bottom. Yellow. And then let's do another warm color on top. Got some pastel boogers over here. Okay, so with Sgraffito, you're going to use a sharp edge. If you really don't know what to use, you can use your fingernail. But you're essentially scratching off that top layer, so I'm going to use like a mechanical pencil without any lead in it. See how that works? And just create some interesting textures that are pretty sharp that you wouldn't be able to draw on with pastel, since pastel is like a soft medium to use. And that's Sgraffito. The next technique is called Scumbling, which is another really weird word. So I'll spell it out again. So it's S-C-U-M-B-L. We'll do I-N-G because it's going to be a verb, because it's going to be an action. So Scumbling is basically just controlled scribbling. So I'm going to take a line and just kind of squiggle it out there. And I'll go pretty slowly. I'm going to curve here, a loop maybe, curve around. And that's what Scumbling is. It's kind of fun. So the next technique, number 5, is called feathering. And with feathering, it's kind of like two colors colliding into one another. Sure, let's see. We'll do yellow and red this time. So I'm going to start from the left side and create some feathers towards the center. And they don't have to be like detailed bird feathers, but you get the idea. It could be like a bird wing. And right here it leaves some white spaces. And then from the right side, I'm going to go in with red and do the same thing. I think feathering works best if there's more than one layer to it. So I'm going to go back in with yellow, go towards the center again, and my red is mixing in naturally. And I'm trying to fill those white areas between the red feathers. Go back in with red. You'll notice when I use my lighter color, over top it starts to mix more. You might want this, you might not want this. It just depends. Alright, my next technique, and I think my last technique, is hatching. And hatching is not just for oil pastel, and neither are really any of these techniques. Perhaps Sgraffito you can't really do with drawing too much, but these are not just for the medium of oil pastel. You can use them in paint, you can use them with ink. Hatching I use a lot with ink. And there's two types of hatching. Well, that we're going to be talking about today at least. And that's single hatching, which are just lines going in one direction, or cross hatching. So cross hatching, two or more directions there. This also creates a different texture in oil pastel. especially if you're using more than one color. Cross hatching.